Episode for high GC News. Mima Ubia Aquaba had the latest hot era mede bremo. And subscribe to channel idea, but more than say over subscribe. The way say over click a year the subscribe button. Now wabele notification. We have video for free be upload with the first person once ever can a year video. I feel we are now like video give us a thumbs up na fi share my work for so na when you be here. Na who and somewhere ekoso ewo Ghana memo hanum afin tentemara yembura ye somewhere abeto ye pnoso uminti ye sankomo ya babetu je sa report mama yiti sansem ye ekoso uminti
CCTV footage at the center of the alleged meeting of some persons who are members of the committee and also hearing the petitions against the Chief Justice. Tonight 3FM has obtained the CCTV footage at the center of this alleged meeting. Christabel?
Yes, that's very right. And now the basis for the calls to dissolve the committee hearing petitions for the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo, a former MPP parliamentary aspirant for the Adenta constituency, Alfred Abebiokumi, has petitioned President Mahama to dissolve the 5-member committee. He alleges that 2 committee members and the counsel for one of the petitioners were seen having dinner at a restaurant in Accra, where they were overheard discussing matters related to the petition. Now, according to Kumi, this meeting and the discussion of the case over dinner undermines the integrity and credibility of the ongoing inquiry, Alfred.
I see. Now, we're going to put the video, this CCTV video, we're putting it on our Facebook page right now at 3FM 927. If you haven't seen the video that we're talking about right now, this former NPP parliamentary aspirant for the Adenta constituency, Alfred Abebiokumi, the basis for his petition to President Mahama to dissolve this 5-member committee, which we must put on record, is already working. They've started the work of hearing the petitions against the suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo. And for some time last week, we got a communication from the presidency to that effect. If you go on our Facebook page at 3FM 927, this CCTV video footage that we have a copy of is rolling right now. If you see it, I'm just going to describe to you the details of this CCTV video footage. Now, lawyer Thaddeus Sorry is seen seated in the middle of the said restaurant with Kote having a meal and talking. Now, in the course of the video, you'll see, notice that 3 people walk in together, and the first person amongst the 3 walks past Thaddeus Sorry's table without even noticing him, and then followed by Yoni Kolendi, that's Justice Yoni Kolendi, who first notices Kotejani in this particular video. Now, he shakes him and later shakes Thaddeus and engages in a chit-chat with him briefly and proceeds to join others he came with. Immediately after Thaddeus Sorry's attention is drawn to the presence of the other judge in the restaurant, and as it is courtesy, really, between the bar and the bench demands, Thaddeus Sorry is seen moving from his seat to greet the other judge and returns to his seat. Now, the video shows clearly that the entire engagement did not last beyond 1 minute. Now, the video also shows that there was no meeting between lawyer Thaddeus Sorry and the judges, as has been widely circulated. Now, if you go on our Facebook page right now at 3FM 927, we're showing you the video footage of this particular CCTV video footage at the restaurant. And you see Thaddeus Sorry and the judges having that conversation, and Thaddeus Sorry moving from his seat to greet the other judge. In fact, they then exchange pleasantries. He hugs them. If you are on our Facebook page at 3FM 927 right now, you see this CCTV video footage which we have obtained, which is at the center of this allegation against some members of the 5-member committee, which is now hearing the petitions against the Chief Justice seeking her removal. And it is this former NPP parliamentary aspirant for the Adenta constituency who is basing on this CCTV video footage from the restaurant to petition President Mahama to dissolve this committee because he alleges that there was a meeting amongst them, these members of the committee, at this said restaurant to, as it were, plan the removal of the Chief Justice. Well, the video footage we're showing you right now shows there was no such, at least, the conversation between the lawyers, that's Tadiosori, and as we see there, the first lawyer, Tadiosori, was seated in the middle of the restaurant with Kote Jani, having a meal. They were talking. And then, in the course of the video, 3 people walk in together. The first person walks past Tadiosori. So there are 2 people, and that's, if you're on our Facebook page right now, you see the 3 people walking in. And then the first person walks past Tadiosori's table without even noticing him, and then followed by Justice Yoni Kulendi, who first notices Kote, and then they exchange some pleasantries. He shakes him, and also later shakes Tadiosori and engages in a chat with him briefly, proceeds to join the others he came with. Immediately after Tadiosori's attention is drawn to the presence of the other judge in the restaurant, as it is courtesy between the bar and the bench, Tadiosori then moves from his seat to get the other judge also exchange that pleasantry and returns to his seat. Now, the video footage also shows that engagement that ensued was out of courtesy, at least from what we are seeing, the 3 people just walking in right now. And also Justice Puaman, who is mentioned in this petition, based on the video that we have obtained, was not in the video. The video also shows that this conversation amongst them was under 1 minute. What happened is akin to seeing a colleague in town, and then also that exchange of pleasantries. As we are seeing right now, if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM927, you can also see this video, which is at the center of this alleged meeting, which is now the basis for calls to dissolve the committee hearing the petitions for the removal of the Chief Justice, Gertrude Torkonoo. Now, Martin People is private legal practitioner, is joining us on the telephone right now. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Counsel.
Great. And Counsel, first of all, I want to establish, have you seen this video, this CCTV video footage of the restaurant and this alleged meeting among some members of the committee probing the Chief Justice petition, and then also lawyer Tadiosori? Have you seen it?
Yes, I saw it about 5 minutes ago. Actually, I was in a meeting and then I had to come out to fetch some photocopies, and then the rest is history. But I just saw it about 5 minutes ago.
Perfect. What does that communicate to you? How does that strike you? Does it appear as though it was a meeting to, based on the petitioner's claim, plan the exit of the Chief Justice?
Not at all. Not at all. This is not a planned meeting. This is what Kennedy Agyapong calls luckless coincidence. Kennedy Agyapong's favorite phrase. It's a luckless coincidence. Thank God there is a CCTV, and it speaks for itself. And like you rightly analyzed, under a minute. So it's normal when lawyers see the judges, they greet them. Judges see lawyers and also greet. So it's part of the bench bar relationship. It would have been strange, right, for sorry to see Justice Gertrude and not go to greet him. You see it. So the one I saw is Justice Gertrude there, and then Justice Kulendi, right? And sorry and Justice Kulendi have a long relationship, right? So you can't say because Justice Kennedy is on the bench when sorry sees him, sorry cannot greet him. Fortunately, Justice Kennedy is not even on the committee. When it comes to Justice Gertrude, you see, they just exchange pleasantries, right? He just bowed to him, and that was it. Is that not? They didn't even speak much, right? So
yes.
It's good. It's good that there's a CCTV to prove that this one is just they just exchange pleasantries. That's it. I don't see so far anything in this video to warrant the dissolution of the committee.
Well,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, what I see is that when citizens protest, it tells you that, yes, they want to see better laws. But this one, so far, I don't see how we can use this as grounds to dissolve the committee. Not yet. Maybe then, no, I don't see. You can never say that a lawyer should not treat a judge or a judge should not treat a lawyer when they meet. It's not possible. What kind of society are we then creating?
And in the mind of the petitioner, to the extent that, yes, you describe it as a luckless coincidence, but in the mind of the petitioner, it says to the extent that the pleasantries were exchanged, and however brief the conversation was, he is pointing at that as some sort of a meeting, planned meeting. Does that take the box for you?
No, it doesn't at all. It's like the petitioner is clinging at straw. Yeah, petitioner is clinging at straw. This one, we will just move ahead and put this behind us.
You will not advise the president to pay attention to the petition at all?
At all. This doesn't merit that. I mean, this is clinging at straw. Yes, it's okay. It just shows that yes, Ghanaians are vigilant, but this time that's all that it is. So it will be a warning to everybody to always watch their back. Yes, so that's a lesson from it, but not one that should result in a dissolution of the committee.
I see, but even with this, the restaurant as well, there are others who have made the point about this CCTV video even being the basis for this particular petition, and the said restaurant as well on the matter of privacy, is it not?
Yes, there are issues of privacy. All right, there are. We'll see where to strike the balance because it's a public place. Then now maybe we'll need to check the. We need to review it as because it's a public place. Yes, then that way, being in a public place, we need to check the rules. What have the owners of the facility stated that this whole place is. There's a wire that, well, not necessarily wire, that is CCTV. So there's pictures. So some hotels and restaurants, when you go, you are put on notice that there's a public place and so there's CCTV. So I need to get more information about the conditions of access before I can make any further comment in this direction.
So asking the president to dissolve a committee probing the petition merely because of this less than 1 minute encounter at the restaurant where the people had converged is not a demand with basis, essentially, from what you say.
Absolutely. That is way over the top. Let's not kid ourselves, Because you see the law. So just 1 minute on law, then I have to run back into my business. You see, you're looking at if there was an extended conversation, one that creates the possibility that they were even discussing the case, then you can say once you see that there's an extended conversation and you can't tell what is in the conversation, I would have voted for a removal of the third judge. So far, is it Justice Gertrude is the only one we see in there? Is that not correct?
Yes. So Justice Bawumia is mentioned, but he's not in there, as based on the video as we've seen it.
Excellent. So you see that he only exchanged pleasantries. So this doesn't go, doesn't create that situation, because the law is that if there is a real likelihood of bias, yes, you can do so. And one of the grounds will be that, they met and then they had a long conversation that shows some affinity that will bring some bias. You see, so we use real likelihood. We don't use the likelihood. It's a real likelihood of bias. So it's a higher test. But this one you don't see it. So that's the standard. When we say the law, you see in Salah versus Attorney General, even the speaker case, Afenyo Markin versus the speaker, etc. It's because of this, the test we use. That's why Chief Justice Torkonoo in the Afenyo Markin versus speaker case said that the fact that Justice Ernest-Gaiwu was once an MPP parliamentary candidate was not sufficient to meet the real likelihood of bias test. And that's how come Justice Gaiwu was not recused. Yeah, so it's the same thing here. This one is just pleasantly. Okay, so thank you. Right.
Counsel, I do appreciate your thoughts on this. Thank you so much. Martin Pebo is private legal practitioner joining us on this particular one. They're here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, and he makes a point quite strongly as well that this video, the CCTV video footage which we're showing right now, if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM 927, from his legal understanding and analysis, cannot form a strong and legitimate basis for the call for the dissolution of this 5-member committee hearing the petitions seeking the removal of the Chief Justice from office. So as you've seen in the CCTV video footage, as we're showing right now at 3FM 927, and you can go there right now and you'll see the video footage as we're showing it right now here on 3FM 927. That's on Facebook and also on YouTube. Now, based on the footage, Sorry was already seated, as we're seeing in the video right now, in the said restaurant before the 3 other persons entered. Justice Poman was not cited in this video as we're showing, and conclusively, he might not have been one of the 3 justices that the Chief Justice has named in this latest from her. Now, this encounter we see didn't last more than 20 seconds, as the video footage, as we're showing you right now at 3FM 927, clearly dictates. And if you go on our Facebook page at 3FM 927, you'll see what we're talking about. Now, in the course of the video, the 3 people walk in together, and the first person walks past Tadio's table without even noticing him, as lawyer Tadio's, and then followed by Justice Yoni Kolendi, who first notices that's Kotejani, who was seated with lawyer Tadio's. He shakes him and later shakes lawyer Tadio's and engages in a brief chit-chat with him and proceeds to join the others he came with. Immediately after Tadio's attention is drawn to the presence of the other judge, in this case specifically we're talking about Justice Esiedu, he also then moves to him. As lawyer Martin Pebo indicated, it is the practice and dictates of the bar that out of respect you would want to ensure that pleasantries are exchanged in respect or out of respect for the senior at the bar, in this case Justice Esiedu, who was seated on the other side. Now, what the video is showing clearly, and also, is the length of the engagement between these persons we're talking about, which is less than 1 minute, as we're saying on Facebook right now at 3FM 927. And if you go there, you'll see exactly what the video dictates, and also you can make a judgment for yourself. Christian Mamhese is private legal practitioner. He's joining us well on the telephone. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Mr. Okansi. And same to your listeners alike.
Have you seen this video, this CCTV video we're talking about?
Yes, I've seen it circulating on social media.
Great. And does it, from lawyer Martin Pebo's perspective, it's not a solid, strong ground to ask for the dissolution of this committee, because in his words, just like Kennedy Agyapong, the special prosecutor, posted, this is a luckless coincidence. What's your thought on what you saw?
All right. I mean, just the citing of the video it doesn't necessarily establish a firm ground unless probably the Leonard former Attorney General has another video, but for all that we are seeing, I mean, you don't need to be a forensic expert to read into the body posture, contacts, gestures, whether verbal or non-verbal gesture posturing of the parties involved. Like my Leonard senior rightly mentioned, I mean, for between the bar and the bench, it is one of nobility. Our profession is a noble profession, as is always said. So even when you are not in court and you realize that this is a judge, you gently bow, not that you go down, but you show it's a sign of respect that we always do, whether you are in court or not, and that has been our practice. I also gather that I stand to be corrected, even with the military, when you meet senior officers, even outside Burma camp, they still show that respect by saluting, or they just remain a little bit of standstill. So, I mean, every profession and how that is carried out. But whether this could be construed as discussion of the matter is about evidence leading, because you are ladies as a higher burden, you must discharge that burden. So Mr. Adami might have a reason why he wants to put that out, unless his reasons or evidence, as I may say, constitute what is speculated on. It would be for the court to see and also to put whatever probative value it would want to put on it to convert the particular matter. But as it is now, this video, there's nothing much about it, because the video does not go to the extent of the third meeting. And indeed, if even there is that, no conversation came out of that for us to establish whether indeed there was a conversation about the proceedings and all of that. So there are a lot more loopholes with this particular video if we want to transpose it to what the claim is. But like I said, unless there is another evidence that the applicant is looking at putting out here.
Counsel, I do appreciate your thought, but kindly stay with me, because there's another matter that I want to seek your thoughts on here on Hot Edition, and this has to do with the latest on Godfrey. Christabel?
Yeah, a private citizen, Daniel Kwame Ofosu-Appiah, has formally petitioned the General Legal Council, GLC, accusing former Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Addo of professional misconduct in relation to the criminal trial of Dr. Cassiel Ato Forson and others, filed under Section 18 of the Legal Profession Act 1960, Act 32. The complaint cites an audio recording admitted into evidence in court as proof that Mr. Dami allegedly attempted to influence the testimony of Richard Jatba, the third accused in the case. The audio, supported by WhatsApp messages between the two, forms part of a series of evidence Mr. Ofosu-Appiah believes warrants disciplinary action. According to the complaints, Mr. Dame's conduct engaging privately with a represented party during an active trial violates multiple provisions of the legal profession, Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules 2020, including breaches relating to honesty, witness tampering, and undermining the administration of the justice.
And this relates to the Richard Jakpa leaked audio tape during this entire trial sometime last year prior to the elections. And Counsel Christian Mamhesi, I mean, this is one that some say an action that should have been taken long ago after this revelation by Richard Jakpa and putting out the audio recording between him and then also the former Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Dame head coaching him as witness on what to do. Is this petition one that generates a matter of interest, as it were, and has basis to address that particular action by Godfrey Yeboah-Dame last year?
It is quite interesting for the person, the petitioner, because it is one that the General Legal Counsel would have to look at the merits of it, whether the person indeed is grounded in locus to file such petition. I mean, for them to even go into it, I think whether in the right person to have that done, whether persons unrelated to such matter can just bring an action, a petition against a lawyer to. So it is one limb for the General Legal Counsel to determine, and also the veracity of it would also be another matter that the General Legal Counsel would go into to establish the circumstances and indeed if they find it grounding, then they go by our ethical rules and the sanction regimes that exist. But I believe Mr. Dame is going to fight this out.
So if you say in fighting it out, exactly what is going to be the point of defense, especially
I believe he's going to fight it out. Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely when one files a petition against you, you would respond to it, and it's a legal process. So you are going to raise all the legal, whether red flags or whatever legal option you have to exercise to defend yourself. The person would, and he's a lawyer, he's a seasoned lawyer, he knows how to handle this, and it would be as that, because I mean it is one allegation, and this is not trial in public, but it's in a legal forum. So definitely there's going to be a fight back, and that fight back is a legal process, not a physical one.
We'll see how things play out, but I thank you so much for joining us here on otchere. Christian Mamhesi is private legal practitioner, but for lawyer Martin Pebo, he says that in the midst of all of this, he was surprised that the suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo will now have the former Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Dame as her lawyer in this interlocutory injunction that she has filed at the Supreme Court yesterday. Take a listen to him.
Surprised, and I shocked. To be very candid with you, shocked because, look, number one, I don't know why of all the lawyers this world, the Chief Justice went for Godfrey Dame. Godfrey Dame, who was caught on the Jakpa, being engaged in very unethical conduct, and you see that this is the person the Chief Justice is choosing, then you are like, oh,
maybe, you see, I mean, the optics, it's not everything I can say, but the moment you draw that linkage, you see that, we are in trouble. Yeah, we are in extreme trouble. Then you begin to ask that, okay, so is this part of the reason why Godfrey Dame never got sanctioned in the first place? You see, so people can draw all manner of legitimate questions from this alliance. Yeah. It's very tacky. Very, very, very tacky. It's a difficult situation. Because Godfrey Dame was very unethical in the Japa tape. He was coaching a witness, suborning a witness, all those things. And then you find the Chief Justice go for Godfrey Dame. They're like, okay, now you would understand certain things. Look, Mr. Kansi, this is not the last you see of this alliance. You're going to see a lot more things that will be very, unpalatable. Yes. Trust me, in this nation, we sit here, you can see certain things. It's terrible. It's really terrible. Yeah, to be very honest. But look, if we don't speak the truth, we will not get far. I mean, come on. This is a guy who has an ethics case, a very serious one at that, on his head. And you say he should come and lead the charges. And he was Attorney General. You see, in the speaker case, there were issues. People had raised many questions. So this link begins to answer some of those questions. So it's really a serious matter. Yes, it's really serious. I'm shocked. I mean, to be very honest, I'm shocked. You say. So, but, well, it's a democracy. Somebody say, well, the General Legal Council has not dealt with the case yet, and so we cannot draw conclusions. Yes, fair enough. Yes, the General Legal Council hasn't gone into it. But there are also certain situations where you always need the Caesar's wife's test. Live beyond reproach. You see, there are certain things you should do that will be said that they shouldn't draw suspicions. That's a key. Don't do certain things to draw suspicions, especially as there were already suspicions when the speaker matter came. Yes, there are suspicions. They are not, somebody will tell you that a multitude of suspicions do not constitute proof. Yes.
Good. So, number one, it's a sign that she has confidence in the judicial system, okay, or the judiciary to give her justice. Yes, it's a very strong signal that she has confidence that her colleagues on the Supreme Court bench would give her justice. Because if she didn't, she probably wouldn't have gone at all. I was tempted to say she would have gone to the book, but forgive me, let me not even complete it. So the fact that she's going to court, right, is a strong sign that she believes that the system will give her justice. So because of that, I mean, let's grant her, it's a constitutional right. And indeed, you find in Article 125 of the Constitution that justice emanates from the people. So the people give justice, and so when they have issues, they have grievances, they also will go to the court to ventilate their claims. So it's okay. The only thing is that the optics are very bad in her choice of Godfrey Dame as lawyer. It's terrible. I mean, I can't believe it. People had made comments earlier on, so I thought the Chief Justice would have taken a cue. You know?
Why?
Dame was in this Japa tape, did a lot of unethical things in the Japa tape, was suborning witnesses, coaching a witness to go and lie to the court, asking the witness to get a fake medical report, you know, saying that Akufo Addo and ofori Atta were on his neck to use the judicial system to prosecute Ato Forson and Japa. All right, so that's persecution, using the judicial system for their own political ends, everything. And the tape is official. It was admitted in evidence in court. So for the rest of Godfrey Dame's life, that tape is him. Whether the case goes to the General Legal Council or not, whether he is found liable or not, the judge, Justice Sewa Asare, admitted the tape as authentic. So for a lawyer who has done such a thing, and many lawyers are saying he should be sanctioned by the General Legal Council, and yet he has so far escaped it, the Chief Justice choosing Godfrey Dame as a lawyer begins to raise a lot of suspicions. We are like, okay, so is it because of the alliance that Godfrey Dame didn't appear for the General Legal Council, that Godfrey Dame has not been sanctioned? She should have seen all of that. All of that. I mean, and look, trust me, Mr. Walker, other things will come up. Other news and information will come up that will make this choice more terrible than it already appears. So the best for the Chief Justice to do is to disengage Godfrey Dame. Godfrey Dame leading her in this case is a terrible engagement. It's a very terrible one. Look, there are other things that, as I said, I will hold my horses. But this is not on. Godfrey Dame has to be disengaged. You see, for Godfrey Dame, this case is also serving as a rehabilitation for him. You know, because of the terrible things he did in the Jakwa tape, he thinks by coming to court, wading into these conversations, and people talking about it, after a while, we will stop talking about the Jakwa tape. But it's a lie. We will not stop talking about that Jakwa tape until Godfrey Dame is sanctioned by the General. Yeah, that is the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council. So it's like that's the court where lawyers who breach their ethics are sanctioned. So once the tape has been admitted, the tape is been shown to be authentic, Godfrey Dame must face justice for those things. So he thinks by taking on these cases and by being the center of public attention, comments, etc., very soon people will start talking about the tape. It won't stop. So he better just prepare to face justice. So this is what I can say in terms of the situation so far.
Looking at how the Supreme Court has dealt with the previous suits or petitions, so to speak, in relation to this subject matter, and then subsequently the suspension, the processes in all, do you think there's any merit in this current one at all by the Chief Justice herself?
Okay, so this has been asked, Mr. Walker, this one, you know, because of the issues of contempt. Right now, our society is doing better. We are commenting more. So we are narrowing down the borders of contempt. But this one is too direct. It's too direct. So
you mean my question? My question is direct.
I say too direct, too near the contempt matters.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to say that. I don't think.
All right. So let me perhaps rephrase my question then, so that we make it more of a public discourse. If you take a look at the public opinion that seemed to have greeted, or the public opinion that had been elicited as a result of the last 3 dismissed cases in relation to the subject matter so far, why do you think the public opinion seemed not to favor the Chief Justice?
Okay, good. Yes, that's a brilliant question. You're a wise man. Good. Now, public opinion doesn't appear to favor her because of what people have read in the petitions, and most especially to you know, the case involving the Speaker of Parliament, Afenyo Markin's case against the Speaker of Parliament. You know that case, when we analyzed it, we saw that the Chief Justice chairing the panel, presiding in that panel, rushed the case too much, that he raised too many suspicions. So you see, she lost a lot of, what do you call it, confidence. People lost a lot of confidence in her from the manner in which she treated the Speaker, the removal of the 4 parliamentarians case. That's Afenyo Markin versus the Speaker case. So, you know, it just, and you see even, I think Shamima Muslim referred to it. There were parts of the case where she appeared too aggressive, etc. So that was the beginning of her fall. That's the beginning of the fall. Because you see, human beings, yes, the citizens may not be lawyers, but they are not stupid. They can see where you aggress a lawyer and do other things openly. You know, they tell that a picture is worth 1,000 words. They can see. They can see. So I think that is the case that, I mean, really is fueling the lot of public disfavor, a lot of lack of support for a cause, because you saw the polls Musa Dankwa did, where 52% of Ghanaians said that she be removed, and only 18% opposed it. I think you can check the figure. Yeah, not more than 20.
53.
Now, those who go ahead.
53%, and then about 20%. But however, he did say that among the MPP, the majority of them, by way of the respondents who are politically aligned to the MPP or the opposition, they over 80% or about 80%, so to speak.
Yes, that one is to be expected because, you know, look, let's not hide this. Appointment as Chief Justice is a political appointment, right? And politicians are known to choose their friends. Politicians don't choose their enemies generally. Generally, they don't choose enemies, okay? Or they don't choose neutrals generally, all right? So they will choose people they trust any day will have their back. So if 80% of the active MPP people think that she should not be removed, I understand. It's their opinion. So let's grant them. So as I mentioned, is the case, the speaker case and everything. So citizens have a right to also weigh in. So if they say they are not supporting it, it's unfortunate. It's a lesson to all of us that, hey, the power of the citizen, we have to be very careful. You may have all the power, but it's not every power you exercise. You see, like it said in 1 Corinthians 6-12, there's that thing about all things, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. So today you may have power over somebody, but you have to always think about tomorrow. So that when you're dealing with the person, be extremely, careful that, hey, this is what I'm doing today. Is this person likely to, be affected negatively, and so I'm likely to pay for it tomorrow,
Okay, Mr. Kweku.
Yeah.
The last one I'll ask you, there seemed to be the regurgitation or the re-echoing of her comments publicly when addressing, I think it was a women's event or so, that the law is the law, irrespective of, she put it, the noises that will be made. Even though as much noise that will be made, that will be more appropriate. Don't you think that using that quote that she made to be the responsive argument for her not to challenge the ongoing processes is not fair to her?
Oh, absolutely, yes. So it's not fair to her to say that she shouldn't challenge the law. Yes, when she says the law is the law, yes, it also means that, yes, from time to time, if you think that, so when they do an interpretation that favors you, the meaning is that that interpretation was always part of the law, but we didn't know it. You see, the Constitution is language. You see, the Constitution is written this in the English language. Of course, you ask experts and they'll tell you the English language, like any other language, also has its limits. So it's not, you won't always find the perfect word for every situation. Yes, the English language has its own limits. It's not most languages, right? So all I'm saying is that, so you can't find the most perfect word for every situation in the Constitution. So certain phrases and terms in the Constitution don't look like they fit them proper. So, and some to have hidden meanings. Yes, let's make this word. Especially the word fair in Article 19. Fair. It has a lot of hidden meanings. So what I'm saying is that the law is the law. So when the Supreme Court interprets the law or any other court, that new interpretation has always been part of that law. It's not new. So it's okay. Let her challenge the system. But Mr. Walker, what we are working away with, is our system through this public debate eventually will become stronger. The only thing is that in the short term, it's going to create a crisis of confidence because you are talking about the Chief Justice. So, and then by extension, the judicial system. So it's going to, in the meantime, reduce confidence in the judicial system because they'll be like, oh, can't we solve the situation? can't we solve the situation? Why do we allow this to fester? That's why, for me, I keep saying that Chief Justice Torkonoo can help the system by resigning. It will be very beneficial. Yes, it will help us. So that the fight, at least she's fought enough, there's been public debate enough, then, I mean, the system can begin to heal. All right. Thank you very much. The quotation from, is it Corinthians? Please, I want to keep that. What's the quotation again? Do you remember? Yes, 1 Corinthians 6-12, that area. Everything is permissible, but it's not everything that's beneficial. Everything is permissible. Yes, you have a right, but it's not everything that's beneficial. So sometimes you look at your right and you say, no, I'll walk away because of the interest of the larger majority, the interest of the society, the public interest. I will forgo this, my right. All right. So if Chief Justice Torkonoo were to resign, that would be a good application of the principle. I get your point, but thank you so much. Which church do you attend? Since you've been quoting, because the last time we had a public official quoting was Atta, Bibles on and on. So which church do you attend? I'm a Catholic at St. Thomas Aquinas, University of Ghana. All right, okay. I wish you well, sir.
Yo, waiting for winning and someone about beto. Yapono so Mikao say so when you subscribe to channel idea, Bomodia say over subscribe. No, I give video, give us a thumbs up. Now fi share my wofo so now when you be here now and somewhere koso ewo Ghana memoir. Also with me otchere wadwen afaye some way nyina ho ewo comment box ni mu. Mbeti minkabi in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.